Farcaster. Welcome. It is Monday, um, November 6th. Like, what day is this? November 6th, and we are live with GM Farcaster. I'm checking to make sure we are actually live. Yes, we are. Welcome. We are excited to bring you 21 minutes of Farcaster news, all the things happening in the Senius. And welcome, Adrian. How are you doing? You were traveling all last week. You to go to the Farcaster HQ. Like,
I
this is
did.
big. This is a big
I did.
deal. It was a lot of fun.
Last week, I was in Los Angeles, did a stop by the HQ, did a Farcaster meetup, um, did some other
So
work
jealous.
things,
So
spent the
jealous.
weekend in New York City, and it's Monday morning, catch-up
And
day.
here we go. It's time to catch up on all things. So let's start off with Farcaster Fall. And I'm going to start with day 5, which was yesterday, I believe. And Adrian published a wonderfully cozy paragraph essay on FC on Farcaster Senius. Grab a mug of your favorite drink, just like we do here. Imbibe the vibes and collect. And it is a banger, let me tell you. I was go read this. Like, I'm not just being like, because I love you and you're my friend. This is a really amazing essay. So I loved that you talked about having the absurdity of the situation. I'm a grown ass adult with a homework assignment, which I thought that was hilarious. But there's also a lot of incredibly useful information in here for those who, might be looking to learn more about channels. For example, you tag a few different channels in here throughout and kind of talk about, what those channels embody, as well as a few other, links to different contributors who helped you with this. And I just would love to, get your thoughts on, like, so talk about this, this essay and experience. And it looks like, did you write it on the plane on the way back?
I wr I wrote it on the plane. I don't know how
Amazing.
this happened, a LAX to JFK Friday night plane, empty row,
Ooh,
just
nice.
by myself, full
Sweet.
Wi-Fi, so, I had space. I had the concept in my head. And I had a deadline. I told Cameron I'd put it out on Sunday. So all week long, it was just hanging on me like, "Gotta do this, gotta do this." It felt very much like a homework assignment until I realized
So funny.
that, this is a choice of mine. No
Mhm.
one's no one's forcing us to come to Farcaster every day and share our ridiculous thoughts. No one's forcing us to
Do a
contribute
morning show?
pieces. Yeah, no one's forcing us or paying us to stream 3 days a week talking about Farcaster
Exactly.
news.
Exactly.
Um, and, I casted a few days earlier just asking people, like, "What is it that makes fall special? Like, what's your if you love
Yeah.
fall?" And everybody just, shared some really wonderful things, and I pulled all of that into the essay as well. Because fall's a funny season. It's like
I
especially in
thought
the
that was
Northeast
a
where I am.
really you really, like, you touched on so many different things and then, like, tied it back to Farcast. I thought that was really creative, and I liked what you were talking about with fall being a, like, it's a almost like a little bit of a grieving process or something, and it's like you're starting to go into winter, and talk a little bit more about that. I loved that, like, thought, and then I gotta give you my thoughts as a Floridian.
Okay, yeah, so the essay, what it is, I compared Farcaster to the season of fall,
Which
um,
yeah,
and
nice.
Dewuffy will get you the link. I don't know where it
I'm
is.
getting it
And
right
GM,
now. I'm
I know
grabbing it
early
for
for
you right
you.
now.
We have such a global audience today. I think we're
I
covering
know.
3 continents
It's
right now,
fantastic.
so GM around the world. Um,
And
so
I'm
what I did
dropping
is
the
I
link right now so that everyone can take a look,
so
and see what
everyone
you're
read
talking
it.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone please read it and
But
let me
don't
know what
read
you
it right
think, but
now. Watch us
no,
and then
don't
go
read it
read it.
now. But I'll give you the 3 things. What I said is, how do you when I think of fall, all I think of is just beauty, especially where I am in what's like the fall colors and
Yeah.
it's brilliant reds and the leaves are changing.
Yes.
And um and some of my favorite Farcaster channels, like I go literally just for the looks. So it's the photography, the
Right.
nature. Um Someone and Dewuffy, it might have even been you, talked about the, is it tiles.cool, like, and even things like
Yeah.
Outcasters, like, how do you get the visual component of Farcaster? It's so beautiful. The second part of fall that everybody loves is the harvest season, so I tagged that to
Food.
Harvest is great. We
Yeah.
love to, reap our harvest and eat the crops, but it's like you don't get that unless you're putting in the work. You don't get
Mhm.
a good crop
I
unless
love
you're
that thought. I love
pulling the
that whole thought
weeds
process.
and
Mhm.
tending to the garden and your farm, not just day in, day out, but like for years and the planning.
And
So
I loved how you connected it. You said, it's a small family farm. It's not a big industrial Monsanto type of farm, and hopefully
we're
never will be.
heirloom. We're
Yeah.
heirloom organic.
Yeah.
And then the third piece is part of the reason we love fall so much is because we know winter's coming.
Yeah.
And you wanna just, like, hold on to how
Winter is
beautiful
coming. Winter is coming.
and how much does that sound like the pre-permission list? Like, "No, let's not ever open up Farcaster to anyone but us." And I say us, early adopters, because
Us,
it's so
yeah,
good. And yet we know we need to let Farcaster grow because we want it's our
right.
babe that we want it to realize its potential, so you gotta get through the winter of, airdrop farmers and spam bots.
And we've been so stuck in this, like, bear market too, this bear winter, too, so which may continue, but at the same rate, we're also getting this little bump of spring, which we'll call fall. But we're having this little fun bump. We have a very active chat today. Like, I can't even keep up with you people. This is one of these moments where I'm like, see, I knew I wanted to pull the chat out, but I can't make it happen. Let me see if I can try it right now. Nope, it won't let me. I don't know why. I give up. Um, we'll get that fixed in post. Yeah, there we go. But what an amazing um I really love this essay. Like it struck me on so many different chords. So please go read it. Like this one to me was one of your best ones. Probably next to the Scenius one to me. And like it just encaptured like so many different things. But it was funny when you were talking, like you said, what is that like? What's fall feel like when you live somewhere that doesn't have winter, right? We don't really have winter in Florida. So I grew up in Massachusetts, and the reason I moved to Florida is because I hated winter so much that I couldn't take it anymore and I needed to leave. It was the April blizzard that did it for me. The April blizzard of 2001 when I finally was like, I'm out. I'm done. But it's really to me, it's a very different feeling. It's like a relief. Fall is a relief from the summer heat, from so I love fall. It's one of my favorite seasons here. It's also before all of our snowbirds return. So some are starting to come back. You start to see we have car carriers where people like send their cars down. So you start to see the car carriers. You start to see like people coming back, but then it really hits in January. So that's winter and it's like crazy traffic and all the things. So this fall part is just beautiful. It's like that calm before the snowbird storm. So,
Beautiful. Alright, so you can feel
oh
it.
my God.
It's a
Yeah,
special
totally
season.
feel it. It's
Beautiful.
definitely a special season. I totally get that whole thought. Um,
I'll say one more thing and then we can move
yeah,
on because I know there's
yeah.
lots more to talk
I'm
about,
just
but I
like
always
looking
found
through the
it
chat too to make sure we don't miss anything. We have a full fall here near Paris now. Ooh, nice. Okay.
I
What
just
were you
always
gonna
found
say?
it interesting of just, like, where like, in Southern Hemisphere, I always think, like, we just
Mm,
anchor everything to the 4 seasons of where
yeah,
I live, and, when it's winter in, the Northern Hemisphere, we've got our friends from the Southern Hemisphere, like, approaching summer.
yeah,
And I always found that interesting. And then I also, and I know Chandra's is in the chat who's in Mumbai. I always find it interesting, like India doesn't have 4 seasons. So
right.
when I first, I used to travel to India a lot, and I remember trying to learn the seasons, and it's
Oh
like there's
wow.
typically 3 seasons. There's
Mm,
I want to say, and someone fact check me, but it's like summer, monsoon, winter, summer, winter, and the rainy season.
yeah. And
So
that's
here
you
I am
know what?
talking about fall. What does
That's
that even
kind of
mean?
similar to like Florida is very much we basically just have variations of summer. Including a hurricane season that's, like, sort of like the monsoon season, and then we have, just this, like, very, very, short winter that usually lasts about a week. We usually get 1 week in January that's very, very cold. That's it. We're done. All right, so we got to, and Arjun just noticed. He thanked you for showing his Farcaster Fall piece, which is next up. So we got to move on to that real quick. Farcaster Fall Day 6, and this is Arjun for this dope Monday morning manifesto. Fall leaves fall. to signal a world's end, their colorfulness feeding new life where the purples make fall the new spring. So I love that you brought purple into this, and it's absolutely beautiful. And that is what Adrian's rocking, and you can go mint this. I haven't minted it yet, but I will right after the show. You can rent this and from the link, and the links will all be in the show notes as well. So all of these links that we show. And I did want to mention too, I am rocking something that I created using Chris co-created's fall arch, his Farcaster fall co-created, and you can upload your image and it will be added to the final piece. But and this was the piece that I did. It was a Halloween piece, and if you click on the images, it will show up in the Farcaster arch. So I actually was playing around with this, and that's how I made my background. Was I was playing around with trying to figure out like what I wanted to do for something, a piece, and I'm still tinkering. But it was really fun to use Chris's co-created arch thing to be able to create that. So that was a lot of fun. Um,
I only see a little of the color, but shout out, Dewoofi. Doesn't the Prof's arch look a little like the Orchid Room in Team Lab Planets in Tokyo? I have like a
does
it's a
it?
throwback to a cast from
Okay.
6 months
Oh
ago.
my God. Yeah, it's really, I love it. I think it came out
So
great. I was using, it was me and Dolly, working together. I will say
perfect.
that.
Have you minted the Farcaster fall pieces?
I
I
have,
know not today's
I
yet.
had some trouble. So I've had some trouble minting, and I think it's been a Zora problem. So I think that I'm hoping that it's fixed. I was having this weird loop thing where it kept making me try to bridge, but it wouldn't let me bridge. So I think that may have been fixed, and I'm going to mint all the rest of them because I minted a couple and then I had an issue. So hopefully I can get the rest of them, but I will mint them all. There's no question because they're all amazing. Um, and I still haven't minted Jacks because I was having problems, and I loved that one. That leaf just kind of blowing in the wind was really
I
really
loved
pretty.
his. I've not
Yeah,
minted any, and I was having issues with my
you,
wallet,
you might have had the
and
same problem.
I found out it's because I have a new phone,
Oh,
and it had to do with porting over my wallet to my new phone because it
okay.
looks like it ported, but it actually didn't.
It
So in the
didn't.
background, there's something that's not happening.
Something weird happening.
So
Mm,
shout out Farcaster, like ask one question about like if you're having a problem with something, and immediately 3 people offer one-on-one help.
yeah.
So where else do you
It
get that?
that's it amazing, like, totally amazing. And Arjun just said, "It looks like it works again on Zora." I also had some issues. Okay, good. So it's probably fixed, so I'll be able to mint right after the show. All right, we got a boogie. We're gonna run out of time fast. Okay. Oh, I mentioned Chris co-created, so make sure you check that out. It's a lot of fun to play with. Add your piece. We have some new things that have been popping up on Farcaster. So mod from David Furlong at DF. We think it should be easier to make and distribute new experiences on Farcaster. Mod lets anyone create mini apps that bring games, on-chain transactions, live streams, DAO tools, polls, and other rich social experiences directly to Farcaster clients that support Mod. I have no idea what this is yet, but it sounded cool. So I don't know if you even do you have any idea what this is yet?
I saw you add this to our show of like, here are the things we're going to talk about. I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, but at
I don't
least
know
the
what this
prof
is.
can educate us. So sounds a little bit like some sort of abstraction layer,
Something like that.
developer
Yeah.
tooling, the AWS. I think about Nanar, right? Like all
Yeah.
these, there's people who can build apps directly, and then there's people building for to make it easier to build apps. So definitely, this sounds like that's in that category. Um,
I
anyone in the
think
chat
so
try it
too,
out?
and
I
so
mean,
I think we'll
let's.
learn more as we go. Um, few other things happening. Dan's 3-minute long remote lightning talk from the Network State Conference is posted in the Network States channel. So if you missed that last week, highly, highly recommend that you go take a look at that part. The whole Network State was interesting. There was a lot of different things that were, fascinating, like certain talks that I really resonated with. There was a couple at the end that were really, really interesting, and I learned a lot from. But I thought Dan did a fantastic job sort of sharing what Farcaster is, and it's really a really good segment. So give that a look. Did you have any thoughts about that or about anything else from the Network State Conference from last week that we didn't
No, I
chat
love
about?
Dance Talk was great just because it's a snack.
Yeah.
And it's a snack. If you're active on Farcaster, maybe it's nothing new you're gonna
We
hear,
like
but just
things that are
it's
bite-sized. We like
we
things
like
like
size, it's just the foundations again of what is Farcaster, why are we here? So,
Mhm,
worth a listen. I watched Grin's recorded talk, I saw a few other
mhm.
recorded
Grins was
talks,
great.
um,
Mhm.
so it's great that we can get the content without having to fly to Amsterdam.
Right, without having to fly to Amsterdam, yes, because I don't have time for that. I thought this was funny. MK asked off the grid channel, first of all, that's ironic, but off the grid channel, and Dan immediately said done. And Ted said, wow, what's the trick to getting your channel suggestion added in 15 minutes or less? If your FID is under 200, you get this level of customer service. I just found that amusing. Apparently I'm like number 4,000 something. So this is why, my channel suggestions don't get made. I'm just kidding. So for those of you in the chat who have, FIDs under 200, there you go.
Okay,
It's
but
a
that was a
troll.
joke though, right?
It was
There's
a
not a
total
not
joke.
there's it was a joke.
It was a
Okay.
joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. Somebody just said Dan is a troll. To Woofy. He is, very much so. In the best possible way. I did like Woj. Is that how we say it? I assume we say Woj. The most bullish chart in crypto right now. And I thought this was fantastic. This is the Farcaster daily active users and the trailing averages, and it's looking good, going in the right direction. So pretty nice chart right there. Um, and then, oops, there we go. Oh, you and I both sort of jumped on this particular cast, and it was from Kahlo in the creators channel. What are you creating? And they said, I'll start. I'm creating a Farcaster app since a week ago. And then everyone started dropping in things that they were creating. So that was why I thought this was fantastic little cast. Because if you go through the replies, you get to see a lot of what people are creating, what they're building. And if you are building something, go drop it in that chat because yeah, it was pretty cool to see. I saw some new things that I hadn't seen before that people were building. And I thought it was pretty amazing. Um, yeah, I know you commented on there. You dropped your essay there, which was fantastic. Perfect place for it. So that was great. There was something also similar in Founders where somebody was similar, not the same, but I'm looking for 3 or 4 crypto founders that would like to do a weekly mastermind. So if you are interested, please, whoops, I think I just jumped to food by accident. Please jump in here and chat with N Bragg and let him know that you're interested because this might turn into something a little bigger. And somebody had a question like, what's a mastermind? And a mastermind is a group of peers that meet to give each other advice and support, which is pretty much Farcaster in general. But this would be a little bit smaller group for such a thing.
Sounds like
By the way,
genius. Sounds like you're
it's like
creating a scene.
sounds like a tiny genius. It's a little bitty genius. I do think that on that point, like you don't see posts like this on Twitter. And I think that's the specialness of Farcaster, really, is that the founders channel to me has been an incredible unlock for really bringing people together to kind of tackle those founder issues. And for me, it's like I just love like hanging out in there as an entrepreneurship professor and like checking it out. I like how it seems that Kahlo is taking to FC more and more. Yeah, he's a big crypto art Twitter. Um, most important cast of this week. Hold on. I gotta go check this out. I haven't fast. So in our chat, thank you. Was I tagged that too. It was Ivy saying that Farcaster. It was a link. It was a cast from Nicole. Farcaster needs more Tumblr girl energy. And I thought that was hilarious. But Ivy said she is doing her best. So we appreciate you Ivy, for bringing the Tumblr
Great.
girl energy to Farcaster. Oh, I thought that was funny. Okay, couple more things. And big thing before we go, I have to show is the outcasters for this week. So we have the 30 most active users, including replies. And of course, we see some friends in there. Arjan up at the top 4. Holy crap. Ivy's in there. A few other people that are in our chat are on here. I'm hanging on, but for dear life at number 28. Um, Adrian, where are you on here? You have to be here somewhere, but I don't know where you are. Um, and then of course, Danger Will Robinson enters the top active users. I appreciated the suggested follows, by the way. Thank you very much to Ghost Links. And here is Outcasters for the week. This snapshot 17 and pretty amazing. I really love the images and like you can see some of the Farcaster fall mints that are coming up. So it's very Farcaster fall heavy and it is stunning. Like the Outcasters this week is really stunning. So go take a look at that. The link will be in the show notes. And you can find it on Ghost Links um, account as well. And one of the photos that's in here is this weird ice cream thing that looks like it has mole dripped on top of it. So there's that. So we had to get one mole thing in before we before
It's
we
the
close
gift.
it up.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. It really, really is. And that is it. That's our time, Adrian. It is 8:51. Um, Thank you to the chat. You guys have been awesome today. It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate that. And I love that you guys are dropping links and all kinds of stuff. So this has been a lot of fun. Oh, it's Rootcast. You're right. It was excluding replies. I think on the reply one, I think one was replies and one was without. And I think I was on one and not on another. I don't know. So maybe I'm reply girl now. I might be. I just didn't realize it. Um, Anything else before we sign off today? Anything happening that I missed?
Um, no, but I got an extra hour of sleep and somehow it feels like I've lost, well, it's daylight saving, but it's
Yeah.
somehow I feel like I need 3 more. So thank you all to the chat who was here live because I needed the extra energy today. Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Today's a
Thank
catch up
you.
day.
Thank you for we are all reply girls. Thank you for the chat energy. Yeah, it always gives us a little boost this early in the morning and we will see you all on Wednesday. We'll be back at same bat time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. This week, I think we're consistent this week. Nobody's traveling. So we'll be at our usual time and we will see you all. And oh, one other thing I wanted to mention really quick. I know we're over time, but I am going to mention this one really quick thing. I dropped yesterday was a weekly roundup of GM Farcaster on Paragraph, and it has the episodes embedded right in the news. You can get it as a newsletter and subscribe, or you can just go to the link and read it. And all of the episodes from last week are right in embedded in the post. So great job to Paragraph on that, by the way. It's pretty impressive. So it's super easy to do. So you can embed any kind of NFTs right in to Paragraph, but if they're videos, they actually play. So very cool. Um, and that's that. So we will see you Wednesday. Have a great one, everybody. Happy Monday.